Good morning, everybody, and once again, welcome back in today's class. Day number 25, and still on the change management we are discussing. So, yesterday, day before yesterday, or almost in this week, we discussed a lot about changes. Normal, standard, emergency, not emergency 100%, model, transition, workflow, blackout, maintenance, conflict, scheduling assistant. We discussed a lot of things. And yesterday we started a discussion on that if a change get raised, how it get approved, that we need to be understand now. So we were here on this part, change. Let's say I open a change here. And it's new, this one. Let's take this one. Okay. And let's open the workflow. Okay. And here is my workflow. Okay. Why workflow? Because change is a systematic process. Change is a systematic process, and in the normal change, when we talk, if I come here, the normal change cycle go like this: new to assess, and we have to be defined new to assess to authorize. We have to be defined that what approval need to be done on this level. If we are using the state transition model, I can still say that you can define something there. You can use the approval. You can use the flow designer, because change model are not using the workflow mainly. They're using the flow, which we discuss later on. Okay, but if you go with the native view, this is what interpreter view. These things are running on the workflow. There is a difference. These two, workflow is the old one, flow is the latest one. More enhancements, more benefits, more functionality has been given in the flow designer, but there is no way that you can migrate workflow to flow in a single click. No, you cannot do this thing. It's not like copy paste it, but it's not possible. Okay, nowadays if you are working, you are building anything, please try to use flow, not the workflow, because this is not much recommended by service now. If you are the latest, use the latest techniques only. Okay, so we discussed that whenever a change get raised, it gets saved, it go to the assess, these things get triggered. This is called the change approval policies, which define that how a change should go or where a change should go for approval. So like in this case, my change in the assess phase and is going for approval, waiting for approval for the change management group. Now, how this group come into the picture? Now, if I open this show workflow, I am at this point. See, I am at this point, and it's waiting for condition. Ki boss, batao, you want to approve, you want to reject. But my question is that to understand from where this group is becoming. So if you open this workflow here, you will find that it is getting the value from the approval policy. So now we're going to be discussed on this approval policy. Click here and search for the approval policy. This one, or you can say approval definition. In the approval definition, you will find this is the later thing. Approval builder, or let's say go here, approval policies. This is what I have policy. One for emergency change, one for a standard change, one for normal, and one for simple assignment group approval. Okay, because I raise a normal change. Okay, so how this approval policy get attached? Because it has been, I'm using the normal change flow. Now the question comes, how the normal change flow is getting triggered. So let's understand this part. So it's begin, wait for condition. When you click on the begin, you can see not sorry here, here. When you click on the begin, you can see what condition it's giving. It's giving no condition. Okay, then it give get here and go for this. Waiting for condition to move assess. So here they mention this condition state is equal to 4. Okay, and then from here, or it can trigger from here as well, like script, and from here it go for the this part. Okay, so maybe when I check out this, we will find this approval of this workflow in more detailed manner. When I reach on this part, this is a core activity. This is a core activity, I'm telling, because this is not the agenda for the class, that how the workflow has been built. Agenda is that what has been given in workflow, how it has been working. So in this, we have this approval policy normal change. I click on this normal change. In this policy definition, in this policy, there are two things important. Number one is policy input, and number two, decision, that what to do, how to do, where to do. Okay, so if you see here, it has the approval definition, sorry, this thing, policy input and decision. Decision says that when you have to be trigger the approval. Input says by when or how you find out that you have to be trigger the approval. Okay, I'm very bluntly saying, and I'm not 100% sure on that part, that why this has been given manager approved. I try to find out, I try to understand by myself, but not able to get that what is the purpose of this. Okay, it is something that if manager approved, change manager approved, then the next part should be work, means then the next approval should be go. So it says input says when this should trigger. Number one, it is coming from the change table only, means this approval should work only change table. This is what they are saying as a change request should be referenced. And if this change has been approved by manager, then it go for the next level of approval. As of now, default value is false here. It means it is not approved by the manager, so I'm okay to proceed further. Little complicated to understand, but because it is more on the technical side as well. Functional, it's like, okay, this is the two things. It's more on the technical part, that how a system will know that I have to be go and take this policy on this change. Number one, you have to pass this change number to this policy. This is what the input says. So that I should know that, okay, on which table I have to be go and add the approval. And then the decision. Decision has three things. Assess technical approval. What it says, open it. It says when change is in the assess state. ठीक है, हो गया. I am in the assess state. Yes. Then now we are still on the same question, that Atul, why this approval is going. Now come here and you will find this thing, answer. This particular field tell that to whom the approval should trigger. Okay, this is tell to whom approval should trigger, and from where this is becoming. This is coming from the change approval definition. If you click on this I, you will find change approval definition, and this is what we have opened it. This assignment group approval, and if you open this, you will find out. This is what important to understand. So you can create any number of approval definitions and you can call them in your approval policy. Up to you. That's 100% up to you. You want to be call it. You can call it. So now if you come here, I define a approval definition, and what I said, whenever this approval trigger, please add approval group. So you can say two things. Either you can do auto approve, auto reject, or either you can add a person or user, or either you can add a group. I said I want to be go for the group. Okay, चलो ठीक है. Source कहाँ से आएगा? I said pick it up from the change request. जो change the I want to pick a field which is available on the change request form. So I'm putting change request. If you click on the approval definition, then you can define your own group. Like, let me give example. Let me come back here. Simple. Two things are here. Let's say Tejas go to a government office to sign some documents. His father told, go to that office, go to second floor, go to second room. There is a second person sitting from the right to the door. This is what the second part, change request. All defined has been, all thing has been defined. And because that person name is mentioned on the document, so you have to be go to that. That is the second case. First case, like you want to apply for a leave in your college. You need any teacher's approval. This is what you can say. You put any teacher name and you go and, ma'am, can you sign it? Sorry, can you sign it for my leave approval? This is what this says. So I said change request. Now it says on the change request, these many groups, these many fields are available. Because we're talking about the group, so we can pick up only group, nothing else. So I said I want to go for the assignment group. And then assignment group come here. Now this is important. Wait for. Do you, or you, with this means if you get one response, one approval, your work done. You can move next. Or you want everybody approval. Or you want some percentage of user approval, like 5%, 10%, 70%, 80% users should approve, then I can proceed. Now the question comes, Atul, if in a group, total 9 people are there, 80% is 7.2. So it considered as the 8, not 9, not 7. So you can define it. So this particular thing says that, boss, I don't know where to do. You just go to this definition and what mention the definition, do it. So now what happened? When I click on the request for approval, it go in the access phase, workflow has been attached, and this workflow go here and open this technical. In this one, it go and pick up the approval policy. Yeah, change approval policy. It pick up the change approval policy. It go here, search for the change approval policy. Let me go back. Search for the policy. Okay, this is the policy. Okay, open it. In the policy, what is the input? Request I got, manager is false. Okay, fine. I'm going forward. Then it says where I'm matching the condition. Okay, this one is matching for me because only this says that when the change in assess and where to go for approval, go to this definition. Acha, definition, you come here, open the definition, and definition says to assignment group of the change. That is the reason this is coming in the picture. Important point, and this is very genuine ask, but it's not a good practice. Let's say change is trigger for approval to change management group. Now they just come and say no, it should go to the problem management team. Okay, or project management team. You click on the save. Now Tejas has a question, Tejas has a requirement. Atul, now I change the group, it should trigger to problem group or the project group, not the change management. This is not possible. Reason, the workflow has been already triggered. The thoughts, the words are already out from the mouth. You cannot take it back. But now Farah is disturbed. Atul, then how it will work? In this case, you have to be either reject it, click here, reject, or you have to be click and revert to new. These two options you can follow. Best practice says reject it, not revert to new. Because rejection says that why you're rejecting it. Revert to say you can skip your this thing message. So if you approve this, let's go and approve it. I'm in the authorize. Why? Let's understand this policy now. In this policy, I have a 3 conditions. Low risk approval. What is the condition? Change is authorized. Risk is low. What is my risk? Change is authorized. Risk is high. So condition did not match. So it did not work. Chalo. Go back. Require cab approval. Change is authorized. Good. I'm in authorized. Risk is high or moderate. Good. Now let's check. In authorized, risk is high. And now if you scroll down, you will find a group is going. How? Now let's understand. It is coming from the change definition cab approval. Come here and open the cab approval. And it says first approval is required. You can create any number of approvals, nothing to be worried. If condition is matching, you can add it. If condition matches, you can add it. It will be added. The question come in one of my, I guess in my exam, question comes something on this part. I forget as well. That if you want to add a new approval, where you will add in input or decision, you will add in decision first. And from decision, we'll take it to the cab definitions. Sorry, not cab, change approval definition. Cab is not the right word. And if you see this policy, it says you want to run where all the decision matches or the first decision match. I said no, you have to check all the things. I want you to check all the things. This is what the change approval definition we discussed just now. Put your question thoughts here. Go ahead, put your question. Otherwise, it will be tough for you to understand, guys.
It's complicated. No.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's do one thing. Let's a quick recap. Let me follow my standard practice notepad. Okay. Change raised. Okay. CHG raised. Okay. All things will move to assess. When it move to assess, it go to workflow. Workflow check, is any approval activities there? I'm talking. Is this any option is there? Yes. Then it go and check policy, that which policy has been applied. Okay. It find a name called normal change. Okay. Then from go to policy, get the name. This one, you go to the policy and you get the name. This one is matching. Okay. Open it. Then it check. It means system check that what are the inputs. Is it applicable on the change? It's applicable on the problem. It's applicable on request. Input, and then it go to the decision. On which condition I have to trigger it. Decision is something like conditions. If first condition match, it go to approval definition for the to find out that where to trigger this approval. This one. Find out the approval definition. It go to the approval definition and find out that any specific group change or user defined group. User defined means I'm talking about this thing. See, this is they say approval definition. It's not coming from the change. They say every time when this changes go for the authorized, it should go only for this group. I want to fix it. So it go for user defined and check how many responses required. Add in change. Now if I go and approve anybody behalf, let me open this change. This one. And did you notice that change moved the schedule state from assess to authorize, even to schedule is a complete automatic flow. No human intervention required until unless you need to be revert to the new. If you approve, it go to authorize. If you approve, it will go to schedule. And now at this place, my change is all approved and ready for the production. This is what in schedule state. And if I click on the implement, it will go to the implement state now. We will come on this part. Put your question.
Atul, if it is rejected, will it go to close or
No. Good question. If a change get rejected at any place means either in assess or in authorize, it will go to the new state.
Okay, so how
Good. Come up with a doubt on the right track.
So do we have some policy for that? या वो कैसे जाता है? Like how it goes back to new? Yeah, just
it is something like out of the box logic has been written. If a change get rejected, there's a policy, there's a business rule, something is there. If a change get rejected, it go back to the new state. Let's do one thing. Let's copy this change. थोड़ा easy हो जाएगा, ठीक है? And let's put the scheduling. I want to go for now and 14. ठीक. This save request approval. So now it is go to the project team, this one, and I'm rejecting this. It's coming to the new state. It is in the baseline system, they write a code. Service now write a code like this. If rejected, go back. This is what it's saying. Farah, clear now?
Yes, it's better.
Good.
Yeah.
So over the weekend, try to create a new policy. Or maybe in the policy, try to add more this thing. Add more conditions that if category X or short description contain this, or this contain X, or risk is higher, priority is this, service is this, so that you should know that how this triggering has been happen. Right? Only then you will be able to understand this part, and you can add change approval definition as much as you want to be add. I want X group, I want Y group, all these things you can do it. This is important from the examination perspective. This part is more important. This and this. is important point. Okay. So now let's go to the next part. So we were discussing about the workflows. Let's discuss about the flow now. Flow is a short word. Flow designer is a complete word, but we use it as a flow. Okay. As I say that now ServiceNow is more insisting, emphasizing to use the flow because flow come with a lot of new functionality like error handling, which is not part of the workflows. You can do integration via flows very quickly, very easily, which is not the part or not easily feasible in the workflow. Flows are like a low code. You and me, I also can create a flows easily because it's like a drag draw option, nothing much. So what ServiceNow say? Let's come here and open the flow designer. And flow designer come under the automation concept of ServiceNow, which help you to automate the things. Okay. So now few of the flow which is given by ServiceNow in the baseline system. And I'll search with the change. So you can see here. These are the 11 flows given by ServiceNow in the baseline system. Like if we talk about change model of the cloud infra, so this flow will be run. Let's say talk about the normal change, right? Authorize new. Okay. One thing which is good to understand here, good to see here. Did you notice there's a no flow which says is a normal change? Only normal change. Like if you come here, what is the flow name? Change request normal. But did you able to find this change request normal here? Atul hai nahi. Normal assess, normal authorize, normal implement, but nothing called normal. Why? Because in the flow designer, we have a benefit either to create a flow, either to create a subflow. I'll give you the example to understand, then we'll proceed further. Biryani. I'm sure Farah, you are expert in making a good biryani. To make a biryani end to end is a lot of steps need to be complete. Vegetables, putting chicken and making collecting rice and everything. But in the meantime, you put all the ingredients like vegetable, chicken, all the things in the fry pan. You are taking your rice in a water bowl so that it should get little soft, which give a good taste in the biryani. This is the subflow you are using, but it is a part of the main flow. So this is what ServiceNow say here, boss. Why you want only one flow? Divide the flows in the different subflows. So these are because tomorrow maybe tomorrow I want to create a new change flow and I want to be used assess as it is. That in that case I cannot do if I did not create. Now either you make a rice, normal rice, either you make a biryani, either you make a pulao. The first step or the first flow to put the rice in the bowl in a water to give 1 or half an hour to 1 hour so that it gets little soft is the same process. This is what ServiceNow bring in the flow. Important point hai because question can become on the name of this flows. I was get confused. I got one question. I get confused that what is the right name of the flow. So it says that let me see if any other field available which I can add. No, I want to be see that these are the flow or subflow. These are the flows only. Now you can use this flow in any where else as well. I want to just use assess. OK, call this. I want to just authorize. Call it, no problem. So like what is happening in assess? Open it. See, again, they're saying the change approval policy. Fundamentally still same. It is still using the change approval policy. Let's say what approval policy they are using. They are using the normal change policy. What we discussed just now. In the flow, the little benefit is that it is giving like a drop down option to me. Like this way. OK. And then you can see. You will change model and do all these things out there. Let's see if this is available. Yep. OK. And you can see that how this flow work actually in a diagrammatic way. This one. Go to change approval policy. If skip, update record, wait for condition, disregard change request, evaluate change model and come back. And path broken. If something error has been come there, something goes wrong, then these are the things you can do it. Only intention to show you this thing that in okay, this is the one part. This is the one part that you need to be remember that how many flows are there or workflows are there. This. So now if I open this in the other window, this is for the cloud infra authorize. It is not going in the approval. And see. Do it better. And this is the action. OK, sorry. This says when it will be run when it is a model. These options they have given. That model is cloud infra. Then it should be attached and it should go to directly assess. OK, fine. That's fine. And then there are the actions. Actions are something which says what exactly need to do. There are three things. Number one, flow. Number two, subflow. And number three, action. Flow is a collection of subflows or action. Subflow, which is part of the main flow but has been divided or created in the different place. And action, what you want to do in this particular thing. You want to send email kind of things, you want to activate some plugins kind of things, you want to make some value set or reset kind of things you can do in the flow. Every action has a two things. See, this is what action. Every action has a two things. One is input. Farah was making biryani and now her mother says, Farah, please put the rice in the main bowl. This is the input. And what output? After 30 minutes, 40 minutes, biryani is ready. That is the final output. So how this works basically, if I come here and click on the action and click on the new here, I have to create a new action. Then G and submit. See this. Because for the action, I need some input. For I was just sitting on the sofa and her mother called, Farah, can you bring a glass of water for me? She need input so that she can get the glass of water. This is what the input this side. Input can become from the flow, it can become from subflow, it can become via scripting as well. To pop something, we need some inputs. OK. And mainly actions also be reusable. Why? Now in the Utah release, what ServiceNow did, I'm using this. Let's say I'm using this subflow. OK. And I want to convert this subflow into the action. No, because I know that I'm using this multiple times. So now select multiple like this. Why should I put action? Make it as a subflow. Little difficult term as of now to be understand, because if you're not aware about the user release latest or the little bit more in the workflow flow level, it is tough to be understand. But this is what ServiceNow bring. So like operation you want to do, you can make it. I said operation. I want to make it a new subflow. From action you can make it a subflow. That these will be the inputs and these will be the outputs you can define. It will work for you. So mainly in the action we provide some inputs and output we get the solutioning or the conclusion kind of things we get in that particular variables part. This is what need to be see here. Important point to show you. Number one, number of flows has been given by ServiceNow and how this flow works. Let's open a simple one just to understand one thing. Change and change. Okay, it's action. Let's go to the subflow. Flow, sorry. Change underscore. Oops. Change, let's say change normal assess. Open this. So now in this, what is be happening? Okay. Number one, this is a trigger that when this should trigger, if change model is normal, state is assess, and there's a no on hold, then you should trigger this particular part. Then what action I want? I want to be add approval policy. In the parallel, I said yes. Then you need to be called this action called approval policy. In this approval policy, I'll mention that what is the name and which policy need to be implemented. Normal, emergency, जो भी था, we'll get it. And if it work, if this approval policy work, if skip means if there's no approval policy, mark it as approved. By default, mark change as approved. If it is not, then evaluate the change model. What to evaluate? Go in the change and evaluate the change model. What they're evaluating? If rejected. This is what question come here. Yes. If rejected, then what to do? Then send an email and process end. If approved, I'm not intentionally mentioning the approve, because if other reject नहीं होगा तो approve होगा. Then wait for condition. This one. Sorry, if approved, then it's going to the next level. But if they say wait for condition, that on hold is changes and on hold, then you have to wait it until this on hold condition will not removed. Disregard change request approval. छोड़ दिया. And the boxes you are seeing, these are the out of the box spokes. Spokes are like my API, which go and do the work in the background. Again, if you have very little idea about the flows, it's tough to be understand, but if you do this thing, it is quick win for you. So what you can do, you can click on the deactivate any of this, and then you can get the fields available. Read only means fields available, that how this is becoming. And you can see this is it's a ITSM spoke. It is not saying any action and how it's come. If I click on anything here, let's say I want to be add. It's a read only, sorry. Why am I not able to make a change? Right, say read only status publish. If I put maybe it's from the background or what, but if you see, it is the spokes. The red color is showing me spoke. Spoke is like a pre-written code for me to do the work in the background. Spokes play a very vital role nowadays to do the integration. Nowadays we are using the flow designer because in the flow designer we are getting the spokes easily. Let come here and say here. Do we have anything spoke here? Is so like this for your actions, utilities. I think for that like integration you can use. If I want to be use this, why not be adding it? No problem, no sure. So I can put it my spokes here and it will work for me. Examination perspective, these things are important. Name of these workflow is important. Exact name, change hyphen normal, change hyphen authorize hyphen normal, or change hyphen normal or emergency kind of things will be there. We get confused when we do these things. I'm telling you, we get confused. I was confused in my CS examination where they asked me the group table name. It is a sys underscore user underscore groups or sys underscore users underscore group. And I got confused. This is a very basic table which are using day in, day out. But sometimes we did not remember exactly the names. And it created a confusion for us. Clear till this point, guys. Put your question. Put your question. Then we'll take a small topic. Chaliye, let's proceed further then. No question. Now, change in the authorized phase. Okay. Let's say I'm approving this change. Request approval. I'm approving this change. And now my change is authorized. And I told you as per this that whenever a change go in authorized phase, authorized state, only and only CAB approval is required. But how to manage this CAB? How to do or how to follow this CAB? When I worked as a change manager in 2015 somewhere, I had to prepare the CAB agenda. I run a report, I get the changes in Excel sheet, then I forward to my app owner, my technical managers, my business managers, and then on the Wednesday we have a CAB meeting for 1 hour. We go there, we discuss the changes. It's all manual. Customer says, come on, you are selling it a good product, but why manual? Then ServiceNow introduce a concept. Then ServiceNow introduce a new module, a new functionality called the CAB Workbench. If you come here, this one, CAB Workbench. Okay, or if I come here, CAB, this one. Change Advisory Board, CAB Workbench. Workbench is something where you as a CAB manager can see what all other CABs are coming in the picture, in the agenda. Okay, number one, CAB Workbench or this CAB is not a global application. It's a scoped application. If you want to see, you can go here. Why it's not showing this thing? Sorry, here. You can see application and you can search for the CAB. See, it's a scoped application, not a global application. Okay, there's the number one part. Second, a CAB work on the conditions. If you say XYZ condition, only then the cab will work. If you say only this condition, only then the change will added in the cab automatically. Okay, so what I can do, number one, in the cab, first I have to create the cab definition. Like we have a SLA definition, in the same manner we have a cab definition. Okay, so open it. But the cab workbench, as I say, that it is important place for the cab manager, where I can see that how many cabs have been scheduled in a day, in a week, in a month, or where. Let's say, do we have anything in the previously? No. In the previous month, do we have anything in the previous month? No. Maybe out of the box, nothing is coming. Okay, now we will create. So as a cab manager, you can schedule the cabs meeting. You can define the cab meetings. You can approve or reject the changes. You can approve or maybe you can take the notes in the cab. So now first I will define the cab definition. Okay, there's nothing given by service out of the box. I'm defining that what is the name of this cab? LNG ITSM cab. Okay, who is the cab manager? You can put by default it's taking sysadmin. You can put a specific user that okay, he is the cab manager. This is a separate role and this role is different than the change manager role. So don't get confused here, guys. Then to whom you want to delegate. Let's say I'm going on a leave. I say, okay, on my behalf, Tejas will run. But unless I will not put Tejas name here, he will not able to run this cab. He will not able to click start in this cab meeting. Board members stands here for the cab members because these are the members who are always fixed. I know that in every cab, Farah, Samira, Tejas, myself and Surbi should be there. Any cab, these guys should be there. You can add the groups. You can add the members. You can add the groups. I'm not doing anything here. This is your homework for the weekend. Okay. Then the rolling time period. What is the duration of this cab? I said every day 60 minutes it should be done. Okay. What is the cab type? This is little important to understand, but don't get confused that if I'm putting a normal here, I'm talking about this normal. No, this is just a reference for yourself. That daily we have a normal cab, daily or specifically we have an emergency cab on the Thursday or Fridays if required. Time zone you can put your office location and here you can give the meeting details. Zoom or Teams or anything you can want to give, you can give it. And now come down, agenda management. Because if you notice in your office, there are few meeting invites in your inbox, which is for the 1 year. Every Wednesday status meeting. Every Wednesday status meeting, which is fixed. And the organizer set up it for the complete year with the predefined time. This is what we have to do here. In the agenda, it says, let's say Surbhi, Farah, Tejas, and Samira. They all want to discuss a change in the cab meeting. I share the agenda and Tejas says, oh, my name is at the last. Then why should I join in the beginning? Sorry. Why should I join the cab in the beginning? It's a wastage of time for me. Then you can set up this lead time. It is like that you will get a notification before 5 minutes that your change is about to come. Please join the cab meeting. Practically, if I say a lot of places where I implemented this cab workbench, customers are not happy. Customers are not happy because it is very tough to be say that, okay, After 5 minutes, I should join. Why not? You can join in the beginning because it's a cab. Maybe you have some inputs can be helpful, or maybe a change is going which is on the same day, same time, on the same server, but by other thing. But the condition is that it cannot be empty. It should be zero, can be possible, but not less than that. Time per agenda item. This is what ServiceNow bring as an enhancement. Because I saw in my cab meetings, when we start discussing a cab, few changes take 2-3 minutes, few changes take 15-20 minutes. And then the time management come into the picture. So this says that, okay, how much time you want to give a change to be discussed. I said 5 minutes each item. Now Tejas is still curious. Atul, then what will happen? It means after 5 minutes that person will get a beep, some noise, some sound, or what will happen? That we will see on the Monday when we do the cab workbench. Then you can define the criteria that how you want to bring the changes in the cab. You have some defined conditions. So you can say you want to put filter condition, click here. You want to include pre-approved changes. No, I don't want pre-approved standard. I don't want to discuss. You want to add the agenda decision that what happened with this change. It is approved, reject. I said yes. Automatically add changes if conditions matches, then add here. And this is the last. See, I said no, don't add automatically. If I say only then add. If I define some condition only then add. So this option you can try. Tick and put some condition that risk is high or risk is this. If you want, you can add it. But again, point still pending, which Samira has a doubt. Atul, if we pick up this option, then all the changes will come. Maybe a change has been raised today and it is going in the deployment in the November. That change also come in the cab. So how to avoid this part? So to avoid this part, let's say I'm not using this option and clicking on the save here. Now I will create the entries, reoccurrence invite. Come here, click new and say ITSM weekly. When you want to be run this, I say run from 7 to 8. Do you want to repeat? I said yes. Weekday till, repeat till 31st of December and submit. Reoccurrence has been set, and when you click on this refresh cab meetings, you will find this has been filled up now. See, total 42 records has been created. The reoccurrence invite has been sent. And believe me, the notification go in the Outlook from this service now that cab meeting has been set up. Please accept the invite or reject the invite. Now let's say I have a meeting on today. There's nothing for today, kya? Okay, let's say I have a meeting on 13th. Okay. I am preparing the agenda for this. If you want to add few more, delete few more, you can do it from here. Nothing to be worried. Okay, you want to add your conference details, you can add it. You want to add some meeting notes, you can add it. But the main point is still pending. Atul, what about agenda? That is important. Are? What is the no agenda come? Oh, okay. See, you can add the agenda manually as well. Click on the new. And I can put a chain number here. CHG. Let's say this. And submit. Now you, it will not add because it's in the already in the pending state. Now you have a question. Atul, good to make us a fool. Do you think that if I have to be add the changes manually, then I'll use this cab workbench. No. What we have done mistake here, go back to the cab definition. Click open. And in this agenda item, click on this. That boss, please bring the basics to me. I said where risk is high. As of now, I want to just put one definition and click save. And now let's go back and open the 13th of July. And now you notice that cab agenda management also come here, which was not earlier available. And now you can define your conditions that what changes should come in my cab. Number one part, if you notice, attendees. Two attendees already sending this. The invite has been sent to two attendees. One is cab manager and one is attendee. Sorry, one is system admin, one is ITIL user. Why it's taking ITIL user? We didn't define anywhere. Not sure why it's taking, maybe some background logic, but logically it should just send to this one because this is what the person to whom the invite should get. So if you let me put some delegates here. Let's say Tejas. Maybe you don't have a specific rule. Okay, now see you don't have a specific rules. Let's say Fred Ludi. You are the delegate one. Board group. Cab approval. And save. It's say you want to be update the definition as well. I said no, just update the meeting. I don't want to update definition because maybe in this meeting I need these guys, but not other one. So email has been sent. See, these guys got email. Proper email has been sent. Okay. Now, if you come here, this is the place which define that what changes should come in the agenda. And if you click on this, it say, I want the changes which are starting after 13th, but starting before 14th. This is very confusing. Let's say I'm saying I want the changes which starting after 13th of July, but starting before 14/8/28. So these two conditions should match and risk is one of either high, either moderate. And now click on the save. Only meeting, no agenda I want to video. हाँ तो good हो गया. अब click on the refresh agenda items. It says once the agenda item has been refreshed, would like to be sent invite to the all or new attendees because the changes are coming. They have assigned to some other person who will represent. Click on yes. I'm sure nothing is coming because the condition which we put is a little bit false, I guess. So maybe if I say 31st of June. Now let's try to do. And click on the agenda. No, good. So few things are coming. So if you say number one, it was 9, now it's 11. Send this to, and earlier it was 1, now it has been 13. So these changes get added in the agenda and these people get invited as well. This is what the cab meeting do. Clear everybody? Any doubt? Put your question, any doubt, any question, any clarification. Tejas, Samira, Farah. Okay. So now I'll not proceed further that how this run that we'll discuss in the cab workbench we discuss on Monday. Okay. But for the weekend, what work you have? You need to be work on the change approval policies and you have to be work on the cab definitions. Create cab definitions, create cab meetings, put the different agenda and find out that how many changes are coming. Now, if you open this change, let me show you last point. And if you come in the schedule tab, oh, it's in the closed state, sorry. Even though it's a standard change, yeah. This one, 18 number, right? This one. If you open this, and if you go in the schedule, oh wow, why it's not be coming here? Oh, it's in the implement state. Come on, every change we are picking up, it's implement. Let's say this one. Hope it should work. Okay, yes, it will. So now if you see that cab date is captured here. This is what how these two things are interrelated, cab workbench and the change. Monday we will see that if cab is there, that how to run that cab, where to go and run that cab, because that is what important point. Okay, and last question before I close the recording, guys. Okay, let me stop the recording.